He's a gentleman who employs more than 25,000 people. Okay? I'm sure that sounds pretty interesting. At the same time, he is into multiple businesses. He's also into politics. We are not going to touch that topic much, but he has been the chairman of MAHADA for the Repairing and Redevelopment Board in the previous government. The chairman of MAHADA is a minister's post in the government of Maharashtra. A very, very dear friend, very inspiring, very helpful, very knowledgeable. He's an MBA also. Very rarely you get people in politics who are an MBA and who do such scale of operative businesses, but he's a different person altogether. We are going to enjoy the next 1.5 hours with him. Be ready with your questions. I would now like to invite Mr. Prasad Lad. Please. Thank you, Prasad, for joining us. We are going to enjoy whatever experiences you have got. He is also into the aviation industry. He has an helicopter and an aeroplane which is given on lease. He is into the integrated services business, competing with firms like JLL and also other CBRE, Knight Frank and those kind of companies. So we are going to really learn something about the service sector. At the moment, he is present in India. Very shortly, he is beginning business in the Middle East, especially the UAE and the MENA area. MENA area is the Middle East and North Africa area. So let us hear from him how he has made this grow big. He comes from a very, very humble background. He has been living in his childhood in a 10 by 18 room, and the same MAHADA which gave him the room, the housing board, he ultimately became the chairman of the same MAHADA. I think that is quite an achievement. A very, very young gentleman. He is going to go places. We will be hearing a lot of him in the coming years. For the evening, let us have a conversation with him. Friends, we are going to ask a few questions. I will do the beginning, and after that, I want the audience to ask him. He's a fantastic orator. He has an answer to every question. Of course, he's a politician also, so that has to be straight. But he's got loads and loads of experience. He's a man who's come down from the grassroots. So let us have a very enjoying experience. So Prasad, we all know how you began. And today you're running a successful and I think one of the largest companies in the country for integrated services management. So can you explain us the concept of what is integrated service management? How are you different from the other players in the market?
Basically, the integrated facility management, it's actually the security, housekeeping, maintenance, and the integrated facility management like a catering services, building management system, HVAC system, plumbing, air condition maintenance, everything we are done under the one roof company. In India, there is no concept as a integrated facility management as an Indian company. Previously, so many companies are working for that. There is a different companies in security, different companies in housekeeping, different companies in maintenance, different companies in catering. But when we started a company with a vision of the integrated facility management in 2001, that time when I started, when I approached to the customers like bankers or hotels or everybody, they laugh on me and asking a question to me ki it is not possible to the Indian company because that time a JLL and the Knight Frank and the CBRE, then the workplace management, so many international companies are working in India for the integrated facility management. That time I went to the people, explained them ki this is the company, in Indian company, the international company also doing work with the Indian people, and they are charging you the more money. As like a 15,000 that time in 2001 they are charging for the people, and that time the minimum wages charge is a 4,500 or a 5,000 rupees. Then I explained to the people ki if you give me 8,000 rupees, I will give you the more and the good services than the JLL and the CBRE. Then the conversion of the business after a 5, 6, 7 years, I am converting the business with the competition of a JLL and a CBRE, and I am proud to say ki now we are the competitor to the JLL, CBRE. And not only the competitor, that they are not bidding against us because we have the bigger criteria and the bigger business advantage systems in a system. That's why we are the bigger than the international company.
So I think technology helped you to grow big. You're into a lot of mechanized services. So did technology help you? Was that a good decision for you to grow?
Definitely, definitely. When I brought one machine from the Germany, Karcher, the Karcher is a company for the manufacturing the technology housekeeping machines. When I bought one machine from the Karcher, it's a 80 lakhs rupees machine for the road sweeper. And that time, I think the mayor of Mumbai, I went to them, and Mr. T. Chandrasekhar, well-renowned IS officer of Maharashtra, he was a chief for the MMRDA Mumbai. And I went to him and I present the machine. That time, media give me a very big blow on the papers and everything. But the people from the industry says me ki 80 lakh wala machine chalega nahi. But I am confident that when I came with the technology, it will help me to grow my company. And now, with the technology, we are growing like anything.
So you began your business model with some other businesses that you did, and probably that didn't do well. So you kept switching over, and then you ultimately got settled in this particular business model. You began with the services for transport. You began with a travel agency. So what made you exit that business and get into this business?
When I married, you just say that I am married at the age of 19. That time I don't have a job and anything. That's why I started my tourist business with the one of the government of Maharashtra scheme, educated unemployed scheme. That time I don't have a money also to buy a car. When I went to buy a car, I took a loan from the educated unemployed scheme or 30,000 rupees, and that the tourist car value is a 1,10,000 rupees, Maruti van. And I started a tourist car. Then I work a lot for that. I personally drive the car for the Times of India and so many companies. Then I built up my business because of my knowledge and my nature of the business doing. I built up the car up to the 35 cars. Then the permits are open and everybody is open, market is open. So many people from the transports are here. Then that's why the competitions are there. I withdraw from that business, and I read one article about the facility management in one leading newspaper. That time the so many multinationals company coming into the Bombay or a India or a Maharashtra with the big schemes as like a bankers, hotels, malls and everything. That time I think if I started a business related to the facility management like a Colgate, we need a Colgate early in the morning. We are using a paste, so many companies, but we are telling every time a Colgate. We are drinking a mineral water, but you use a word as a Bisleri. That model I adopt, and I started a facility management. It is a complete man management business. Everybody, every property needs a man management, and it is a completely manpower managed business. And the man working, my ambassador is a man, my brand is a man. If they work well, then it's need to the people. They definitely come to me for my development and my business. That's why I started this business, and it runs.
We also are in the services sector. We know how difficult it is to control 10 people. It is very easy to control 1,000 machines at a single point of time, but controlling 10 people becomes challenging because those are not 10 people, those are 10 egos and 10 expectations. And unfortunately, expectations are bigger than the capabilities. When we find it difficult with operating 150, 200 people, how on earth can you manage 25,000 people? What is the secret behind that? What are your systems and processes?
Actually, my target is up to the 2020 is a 1 lakh people.
You scare us further.
Basically, I said you ki my business model is a man management. Basically, I am completely dependent on the man management business. My ambassador is a man. My janitor, my security guard, my electrician, my plumber, everybody is my model. I am completely concentrating on that person. Whatever their happiness, their sadness is my happiness and my sadness. That's why no books or nothing to be teaches you how to manage a man management, because every person has his different angle and different scope of doing work and everything. But my model of the working is every man as a company owner, I gave them a preference as a company owner, their salary, their benefits, their medical benefits, everything. First, the labor is important, then the company growth is important. I think that's my model is work good And this is my success for the 25,000 people.
So what is your success formula? I'm sure you must be having a core management team which comes under your leadership directly, because when you are talking about service industry, the core issue, your core investment in the business would be your leadership qualities. So what were your leadership qualities which made you rise from a one-man industry to a 25,000 man industry and marching towards the 1 lakh mark? What is the special leadership qualities that you possess where you can motivate people to bring in more people and keep increasing the size of the company?
It is a basically, when I started a business, it's a what you say, unorganized sector business. When I started a business, my focus is completely clear ki I will do the business as an organized sector business. Now also it is a 50,000 crore industry in India for the facility management. But I think not more than a 5,000 crore business is an organized business, and the 45,000 crore is a unorganized sector. That's why I concentrate on my labor. Ki they will get a salary on a time, they will get a PF on a time, they will get a ESIC on a time, they will get a medical facility on a time, and that is my agenda of the business. My instruction to my chairman and managing director also, my CEO also, and everybody, ki our people, our person who is working for 12 hours a day for our company, it is mandatory, they will get a salary on a time, they will get their statutory compliances on a time. I think it is a success of my story. Ki all people who is working in my company, they personally add for me, ki this is the company, is a good company, you come and work with this company, they will give us a salary. And every 25,000, I think, ki Rajesh, approximately 20,000 people knows my number or Nita madam's number, and they call me directly, sir, I don't get my PF on time, or I have a problem, I have a medical problem, and we address the person individual level up to their salary, their PF, their ESIC, their personal problem, everything we address personally, and that is the success of my story, I think.
So one of your successful parts is you are accessible. You're one of the success of the story is you're accessible. My next question to you, Prasad, is that when you become a large organization, you start functioning like a government organization. Decisions are slow, movement takes slow. The other smaller players can give prices which are better than yours. So how do you beat that kind of competition which hit you on the prices and which are more flexible to respond to a customer's need? So how do you tackle such competition in your sector of business?
Generally, we run the company as like a corporate. We have a complete department, each and every department controlled by the CEO, and the CEO is reporting to the respected CMD and me parallelly on a day basis. We are working for the Pan India. We have 17 offices Pan India. Every office given us a status report of the daily business, the day losses, manpower losses, daily collection business, daily problems on the one line sheet. That sheet compile in my office or a CMD office, it's present to the CEO, and CEO is reporting to me. I am also in the politics, that also I am daily spend 2 hours, not in the morning, then the night also. I read that mail, I respond that mail. If I think something is going wrong, then I personally go and suggest what should be done and what should be not. And I think this is the best way to run the business.
So the man who began with a Maruti van and who didn't have money to buy a Maruti van of 1,10,000 rupees is today also running an aviation industry, having a helicopter and a chartered flight, 7-seater chartered flight. What gave you this vision when you began? Were you aware that you'll reach these heights? What gave you this vision, and what made you stick to that vision and achieve that vision?
Rajesh, I think my vision is abhi to kafi baki hai.
I'm sure.
And basically, I am thinking a big. When I am a small, I always see the dreams. And I am from the Maharashtrian family, so I always say to my mom कि मुझे ये करना है.
He's a first generation entrepreneur, friends, just for your information. His father was working for Mazgaon Dock and his mother was working for the Indian Navy. The house was only 180 square feet in South Mumbai at Lower Parel area, Parel. And from there he has scaled to this level. So I'm sure vision mattered a lot. We want to know, how did you make sure that the vision got implemented successfully?
And one thing is very clear. I cut the thing. My mother every time she advised me कि सपने देखने के लिए पैसे नहीं लगते. And when I married at the age of 19, again my wife says me कि सपने देखने के लिए पैसे नहीं लगते. तो सपने देखते देखते ही बड़े हो गए. And still we are in a sapne mein hai.
So you have got two important ladies in your life, your mother and your wife,
And
and now your
another
daughter,
one.
and now your third one. So ladies are lucky for you.
Lucky.
That's excellent.
Not all ladies.
That is quick and brisk. So he's a very alert entrepreneur. He knows where to say yes and where to say no. And I think that is what makes an entrepreneur a very successful one. Prasad, when you are your growing days, money is a scarce resource for any entrepreneur. And we need to also, the first skill that an entrepreneur learns is money management. You must have faced hurdles, you must have felt shortage of money. There are situations in life where you see a lot of opportunities in front of you, but there is a lack of funds, that initial starter funds to take that next opportunity. So how did you do the money management in your growth phase?
It is a one line. It is a money manipulation. In every business, you are small or you are big, every time you are facing a money problem. Now also we are a big company handling a 25,000 people. But today also we are facing a lots of problem for the funding and everything, because every day we are getting a new business. I think the money manipulation, funding manipulation is one of the good tasks in a business.
And how do you do that? Do you engage professionals and give your ideas, or do you take ideas from the professionals and give your inputs? How do you do that?
No, definitely the professionals are there, but the business is growing with my vision and my wife's vision. That's why enough money matters or the financial matter, whatever the decision is taken by, it's taken by me. It's a manipulation is completely done by me. Whatever the decision is there, the banker decision is there, the investment banker's decisions is there. I am discussing with everybody, but jo karna hai, wo myself.
Excellent. In your growth days, competition would have given you a tough time. You also would have given your competition a tough time. What is that you learned from the competition, and what is that you taught the competition?
One thing is, Rajesh, very clear कि हर दिन हमको सिखाता है. Every competitor is a learning process for us, and today also and tomorrow also, whatever the competition is there, whoever the competitors are mine, I am always respecting them, and I think it is a good learning process for me from the competitor.
So do you get, at times, do you become complacent, and does the competition catch you unawares? Do you miss out on opportunities which your competitor takes you? Or how do you come back into the game if you have lost a contract?
No, sometime the first scenario of the business years, I was upset when I'm not getting the contracts. Now the market is so big. I told you that 50,000 crore market in India is there, and it's a growing market. I don't think so कि market में कुछ कमी है. Always opportunities are there, and we are trying to grab the opportunity. Now my daughter is joined with me for the electronic monitoring security and the camera control room. We know that now the manpower security is converting into the electronic security. Now our competitor is a Wipro, our competitor is a L&T, our competitor is a Godrej, the who's who company. But we are also the company, we have a qualification criteria, we have our strength, we have our network. That's why the Saili comes in a business as an electronic monitoring security. We have a vision of that. And within a 1 year time, we will competitor more than the IBM and the HCL.
Fantastic, fantastic. That is great vision. You have customers like ITC, Sahara Star, Passport Office, Lilavati Hospital, Hinduja Hospital, Tirupati Temple, Siddhivinayak Temple. Now these are Bombay Hospital, Bombay Airport, even Bombay Airport. Friends, you will be surprised to know that he is one of the only organizations which can service a large big bird like the Airbus 380. And his company can service a Airbus 380 in only 30 minutes. In 30 minutes after the flight lands, he can service the whole aircraft, and he is one of the few players in the world who has got this particular capability. I'm sure it is focus, I'm sure it is determination, I'm sure it is the management information system, all put together. When you have this kind of customers, how do you make sure that you satisfy them? Because these are high paying customers, but they are also high demanding customers. Like for example, an ITC or a Bombay Airport is really going to make you run for results. Positive comments from the customers. So how do you handle these customers, and how do you make sure that you retain them?
So basically, I have a quality control team also, and the disaster management team also we have. We have the backup staff management also. Basically, always in a service industry, customer have a lots of expectation from our end. But it is a complete man management business. Whatever I says 15 minutes back, if you satisfied your employee, then they will serve you better. And it is a complete one model. Like अगर आप ये करोगे तो आपको ये इंसेंटिव मिलेगा. जैसे 30 minutes you says कि Airbus cleaning is a 30 minutes time. We are given us our team 7 teams for the one aircraft. We are given them a task. If you completed this task for a 25 minutes, you will get a 500 rupees each for the bonus. And if we completed a 25 minutes the Airbus cleaning, we will get a 10,000 rupees bonus. I am distributing a 3,500 with a bonus, but I am getting a 6,500 as a company bonus for my end.
Fantastic. So that is incentivizing your team and making sure. And you also, I'm sure, if your team is performing on time within the time frame, I'm sure you're investing a lot of time, attention, focus, energy in getting them trained. So what are the training mechanisms that you adapt to make sure that this 25,000 people work as if there are 2 lakh people?
Basically, I have a complete training setup. We have retired IPS officers, retired major generals, and the facility management related so many people on the payroll. We are taking classes. Before the joining a company, any one person, they have a 7 days training in my training room or a field training at a ground level. And every man trained by my trainers and it observed by my senior management team. And we adopt one more good habit. When we select the person, after the training, we take that persons or a group to the concerned management, show them their personality, their capability, request them to you take interviews for them. Then they satisfied and we started, after that we started the work.
Prasad, what according to you is better leadership? A businessman becoming a politician and then becoming a leadership role? Or a politician becoming a businessman and then taking leadership qualities?
I think I am in a manpower business, so I get the benefits of my political power or everything. But everybody in front of me sitting here, when the politicians is coming, everybody says he is a bad man. But I think we should come in a politics on that seat. Because politicians also facing a lot of problem, and the Indian scenario, Indian politics is also changing. So many young businessmen, entrepreneurs, so many the educated people come in a politics. I think we also, everybody should take a decision कि politics में नहीं तो हमें कुछ देश के लिए करना है. अगर हम ये सोचेंगे तो I think देश का भला होगा. And the second thing, definitely, I never mix up my business and my politics together. I never go anybody's office as a politician. You give me the work. So many architects are here. I never call anybody or any builder to give me a work. I am a MHADA chairman. Because I know, and politicians also, because I know when I'm business is doing, it is a complete 100% business, and politics is a 100% politics. But my politics, it's not a low level politics. I'm always thinking about the good level politics, good for the nation, good for the public, and I think it will work together. The business and politics parallelly both are going together. And 2020, what I say, 1 lakh people, that in 2020, I think I'll also leading a 1 crore people of Maharashtra.
Wow, fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. Prasad Lad has been one of the youngest and the most dynamic MHADA chairman that Maharashtra has seen. I'm sure most of the credit goes to the leadership abilities that he built as an entrepreneur. He knows the pains of the people, he knows the problems of the people, and probably he could solve them. And living in a housing board house in your childhood, I'm sure you must have understood the real problems of people living in MHADA houses. I think there were some very landmark decisions that you made when you were a MHADA chairman, like increasing the budget from 100 crores to 200 crores. So he was a very effective leader, not only in a business enterprise, but also in a political scenario. What I would like to ask is, in politics, in India, basically when there is an overpopulated country like India, politics for a businessman becomes dirty and he is open to the risk of his business getting attacked by rivals or opponents. How do you mitigate that kind of risk in real life?
Whatever I say I never mix up my political and the business relationship. I have a good relationship with every party leader. And generally I am in a manpower business. So everybody needs my support, not me to their support. Because every politician wants their people or a worker should get a work or a job or some type of subcontracting work. I am always helping to every party level. Whatever you say about the MADA, I know the depth level of the MADA. That's why I work there very well. Previously, I was a trustee of the Siddhivinayak temple. It's the largest temple in India, the Siddhivinayak Prabhadevi. That time also I work well. When I take a charge of the Siddhivinayak, that time Siddhivinayak turnover is a 30 crore. When I hand out the charge to the other person, that time the Siddhivinayak turnover is a 400 crore.
Wow, 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 phenomenal.
In MADA also, we started so many things. Because of my education, my background, I started every document should be scanned, every document should be online, every process should be online. And I started that in my 3 years' time. In my experience is there, when I go to the public, I ask to the public, you come to the MADA, the awareness. And I started awareness to the public. I go to the Charlie system and talk to the public. They are every time saying कि नहीं MADA में नहीं आने का बाबा डर लगता है. अरे भाई क्यों डर लगता है? हम लोग राक्षस नहीं है, हम लोग भूत नहीं है. We are the people and we are working for you. We are serving for you. The government built this organization for the poor people. Whoever who is staying in the old Charlies of Mumbai. There is a 19,500 old Charlies there in Mumbai. Do MADA serve them for the redevelopment, reconstruction, repairing, everything? I am very much confident that the previous 20-25 years back, whatever the position in MADA, now it's completely changed. Everything is on online, everything, the documents was scanned, everything is done on online on a computer system basis. And I am very much proud to say that I am one of the successful politician as well as the chairman of the MADA.
Wow, excellent, excellent. How do you maintain your work-life balance? Because now you have got two models of working. One is your social responsibilities as a politician. Second is your business enterprise. And the most important is your family. So how do you manage the work-life balance? Your wife is giving me a broad smile.
It is actually a very difficult task. But the per day, I am working 16 to 17 hours per day. I started my day at 7:30 and I may close my day at 1:30, 2 o'clock. Because after 11:30, I am replying my email answers as well as company reports answers. Then the Karyakartas WhatsApp answers, Facebook answers, and I am daily basis I am very much update on a Facebook and a Twitter. And I think if you have a passion about the everything, it is like a Marathi में बोलते हैं कि ये कीड़ा है. So it is a कीड़ा about the politics. Family is a responsibility and business is a need. So ये तीनों चीज़ because I am not getting anything in the politics. That's why business is a need.
Excellent. Friends, let us open for questions. I think there would be questions in your heart which will be answered by him. And let us have some interesting questions. Yes, yes, Nago.
That was really fantastic. You were pouring out. You were going non-stop. My question to you is, you're saying you have 25,000 people. How do you handle attrition? What's your backup plan, a plan B for attrition? Do you anticipate attrition or do you take it as it comes? Because attrition can be quite a job.
In this facility management industry, attrition ratio is always more than 50%. But because of 50%.
And you still have hair on your head, huh?
but my because of my style of working or the caring of the people, my attrition ratio is 18 to 20% still.
Wow. But even then 20% at 25,000.
But we have a backup plan. Previously what happened in Maharashtra, we have a lots of chunk of people. But previously in the Maharashtrian people, they are not ready to work as a security guard or a housekeeping janitor. That time we are importing a man from the Orissa, Assam, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar. But after the government changes the things in every state, then the manpower management is a very tough time. When we educated the people on a ground level, rural level, and our team went to the rural side, go to the local politicians, and they request them for the camps. And from that camps, we take them to the Mumbai or a Maharashtra, other places, wherever they like to work.
Yes, Vinit.
So with so many people, I'm sure I've seen other businesses also where, when you started the business, maybe you take a person, and as the business grows, the manager becomes the vice president or the director. But they're not growing as a human being. So how do you handle it? Because these people actually become the roadblocks for your growth. So how do you handle it?
No, one thing, I have examples of that. कि one of my executive is now a senior vice president of my company. One of my guard is a head of the operations of Mumbai government sector business. Everybody have their talents, and that is our duty to absorb their talent and give a growth. And after that also, every month, every 15 days, from my CEO office or my director's office or everybody from the consultant's office, we have a training sessions about the management business, about the compliances, how to pay the compliances, what is the importance of the compliances. And one thing is very clear instruction to all my senior management staff, the humanity. अगर हमारे पास अगर इंसानियत नहीं होगी तो आदमी टिकेगा नहीं. और in that case, if I find one single mistake from the senior management also, I fired them. And it is a very clear mandatory to all senior management, the humanity level, a soft level, every person, every guard, every janitor should be respected.
Fantastic. Yes, Sidhu.
Good evening, sir. Last time I had seen you at the Jeevan Rang event, and today I am seeing that you have become very fit. So you are saying that you work 16 hours a day. So how do you manage to remove time for personal space and exercise, and how important it is for you to have that time?
I actually, you are absolutely saying right. I was a 96 kg 1 year back. Now I lost a 26 kg weight.
Wow.
It is again a task. And Rajesh clearly told you that at the age of 19 I married. Now I am a 43, 44. And again we are going for a marriage this year as a 25th year of marriage. So
wow. Excellent. But how did you do that? That is the prime question he asked.
I am week में 3 दिन, twice a week, I do a exercise, walking, and the diet control. The Sarita Dowry is one of my diet mentor. Then one of the Sachin Rahate is a trainer. He is running a small type of a gym and the personal training. And he lost me a lot. And my wife, 30 kg, she lost her weight. And my son is coming from London today, and he lost a 42 kg. And now the process started for my daughter, because she just came from London 6 months back. Now she enjoys a lot. Now the process starts for her.
Can we discuss next 45 minutes about weight management? Yes, Kunal. Yes.
Very good evening, sir.
Very good
Nice
evening.
joining. My question is, sir, you've been a serial entrepreneur throughout. So at what time do you know when to leave a business, or how do you groom the person who will manage that business?
I think it is not a time to groom the people. Every time you are searching for the people, because the daily we are in a lots of people in terms of politics or a business. Every day we are in a lots of people interacting with the peoples. So I think you are not specific identified the people कि इनको groom करना है. I think कि वो जब भी वो time पे आएगा तब हमको उनको catch करना जरूरी होगा.
Lovely. Next question, Mr. Siquera.
Yeah. Among the various businesses what you are running, what is the most profitable and successful business, and whether there were any failures, and what are the lessons learned out of it?
So 3 questions.
About the facility management.
Yeah. In the various business what you are having.
He wants to know which is your most profitable business.
Basically, Mr. Siquera, we have one identity as a service industry, and that service industry, I take a different verticals. As like we started for the security, then the housekeeping, then the mechanized housekeeping, then the building management system, then the air conditioning system, then the carpentry, then the plumbing. It is the verticals. Then after 6-7 years, we think that one sector is pending. It's a corporate catering, and my wife is very fond of the catering. Then we started a corporate catering, and we are serving now 30-40 major corporates in Bombay, as well as all over the Maharashtra and all over India from the central kitchen system. It is one of the vertical. Then we think, why not we are working for the airport, because it is also again the man management business. That's why we entered into the trolley management. Then we started a ground handling business. It is a complete sector is one, but the names are different. End of the day, 5,000 लोग हो या 25,000 लोग हो, उसको मैनेज ही करना है. And we have the key of that management. That's why we are into the vertical, different verticals, but same business. And I think it is also a very difficult business. It is, PAT level is very low, but it's a running business. And I think it is a good for me also, for the blessings. We are given a salary to the 25,000 people. That means a 1 lakh people per a month. हमारे सैलरी के कारण उनका घर चलता है, उनके बच्चे पढ़ते हैं. एंड आई थिंक इट इज़ अ गुड, इट्स अ अर्निंग मनी as well as a social work.
Fantastic. Yes, yes, Paresh.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, out of the 16, 17 hours you are working every day, on an average, how many hours you spend planning for your further growth of the organization?
The planning is every time in a car and toilet.
I think that is the time the mind works the best.
Mine was the best.
Fantastic. I think Praveen has got a question. Before that, I would like to ask a question. The name of your group is Crystal Group of Companies, and it is a crystal with a K. Is it Balaji influence?
No, it is not Balaji influence. Balaji take an influence from me. Because I formed my company in 2001 and Balaji comes after 2006.
Oh, I am sure many people have asked him this question. He is specific about the years also. Yes, next question. Yeah, Praveen.
Evening, sir. We run one of our parallel businesses on manpower sourcing. In your initial years of business, this business is a very capital intensive one. And you've given us your humble background. So how did you start off? When you start off, how did you churn your finances? It's a low profitability business and the payments are slow. So I just want to understand initially how did you take off and how did you start?
When I started a business, I started with the 35 people of the security. That time we are concentrating on a such type of a business जहाँ पे हमको पैसा टाइम पे आएगा. And that time the bankers is also not ready to fund us and bankers is not ready to promote us because that time the management business is the risk business. Now all the investment bankers and the bankers are coming to me to take a loan. But now I have a choice because I am now big. When I started, it's very small and it is again a manipulation of the business. Now also we are very much concentrating on a collection because in a market, the attrition of manpower as like a collection is one of the major tasks. But I am very proud to say my collection ratio is also above 95% per month.
You use the same security to recover?
No. It is all about your services. It is all about your services, follow-up. And we have a customer care relationship, one desk. We are sending every time to the customer a customer relationship form. Their problems, we are facing their problem. If need, our CEO is also gone. My younger brother is with me, is handling the operation director. He is personally involved. My wife is personally involved. They personally discussion with the people, solve their problem. I think if you serve a good, then the people is ready to pay.
Fantastic. I think that's a big learning. Huh? You spoil the customer so much that he can't afford to lose you, and that will make sure that your money is never held back. There are no bad debts. I think that's a great lesson to learn. Yeah, Sylvester. We'll take 4 last questions. He needs to fly out from Bombay.
Good evening, Prasad. Since you've been involved with MADA, I have a very specific question with regards to Mumbai. In Mumbai city, land is very scarce, and by day, land is just disappearing. So do you see any hope for a city like Mumbai specifically with regards to redevelopment? Because that is the next big thing that is to happen, but no movement is happening on that. What is your views on that?
It is a very excellent question. When I was a chairman of MADA, I started the planning of 33-9. It's a cluster development planning. And the 33-7 is a old building redevelopment plan. As well as we started a development of the MADA properties because Mumbai have a lots of MADA properties. And under section 33-5, we redeveloped the MADA properties. And that time I was a chairman, I communicated with the Honorable Prime Minister Manmohan Singh. And for the BPT land, now the Delhi newspaper is carrying that news, but it's my product. The BPT land is one of the land bank in Mumbai, the biggest land bank in Mumbai. That time I proposed to the Honorable Prime Minister that you open the land and you develop the land in the Mumbai. That's why the Mumbai built a good within a shape, and everybody, the low level people also buy a house in their capability in Mumbai. And I think now it's working. The BJP government is working on my task. And it is a complete, credit to me. And now the BPT lands are also working. Then the salt plant land is also working. And I think in next 10, 12, 15 years, Mumbai will be rocking.
Fantastic, fantastic. Yes, Deepak bhai.
Good evening, sir. Do you undertake this integrated services for housing society also, say large housing society?
We are doing the housing society, but it's a very big society, because when we are approached to the societies, they are not ready to pay a service tax or a PF or a ESIC. Without any compliances, we are not taking a single rupee work, because it is harmful to the people also. What happened ki every societies want a 7,000, 8,000 rupees mein security wala guard. Then that guard does a pav lao, doodh leke aao, paper leke aao. And we have a very clear cut instruction कि ये सब करना नहीं है तो
No, in fact, my question actually was not this. Do you take and all? Means what is the challenge you see when you deal with corporates and when you deal with a large housing society, and which is lucrative? You think?
Corporate is the both scenario is different, because housing society, whatever housing society we are doing, it's Oberoi ho, yeah, Loda Spring, we are working for the Lodas, we are working for the Runaval, we are working for the Phoenix. But there is also the different tasks are there, and corporate task is very different. But corporate always handling a one man, and the societies there is so many flats, so many advocates are there.
So just 1 minute. Do you believe in taking contract on lowest basis, or you give it up?
Definitely, we are working in a government in a large scale. It's a bidding process. It's an online bidding process, but at our cost. I am very clear about my thing. Ki my worker will get their minimum wages as per the government of Maharashtra or a central government act declares. His PF, his ESIC, his PT and his service tax. After that, we are working on a service charges basis. It is a different every time. Sometime we work for the satisfaction, we work for the advertisement. As like he says ki Tirupati temple, we are working for the satisfaction or a branding. Advertising man is here. So it is, Tirupati is a branding. So we are working Tirupati for the branding. Every business, every model is a different for the business.
Fantastic, fantastic. Yes, Dr. Rajesh. We will take last, I was saying 4, now there are many people who want to ask. So last 4 questions, then we can take it offline.
Nice insight. We are also in the service industry, we are in healthcare.
They repair bones.
We are in the hospital, so many of the services are there. My question is that with labor, low scale, what things you do to retain beyond the routine ESIC PF? Like skill enhancement or training, or what else you can do it to retain also and then upgrade themselves?
Definitely the skill enhancements is there, and the government also given them a very beautiful schemes as like a ESIC. The ESIC hospitals are well equipped hospital in Maharashtra and all over the India. Basically the labor class people, they don't know what they facility getting from the government. We are educating them to how to get that facility from the government. If the one of the person accident or the ill at the time of the working, he will get the salary of that time period of the illness. Normally the janitor level people or low level people, they don't know how much the benefits they get from the government. We educated them, we skills them, and this is the pattern. And again, for the 25,000 people, I can't give your facility as a treatment checking facility. But whatever they need, we are always there for help, and the education is always there.
He wants to know what are the skill enhancement techniques that you adapt for your 25,000 people.
Skill enhancement, it is a normal skill enhancement. Whatever I say is from last half an hour, it is always, it's a training process. It is always as a monitoring them, what is their needs, what is their problems, and it is not every day possible to me or the chairman madam or a CEO to address the people, but we address our top management people or our supervisor people on Skype or conference basis, and every time we learn them what is the new policies coming from the government, what we are giving to the labor, what is the benefit if they working with us, not working with us, and they gone for the another company, what they lose in their life. Everything we learn them. What is the facilities from the Provident Fund? what is the facilities from the ESIC, what is the facilities from the medical gain. Everything we learn every day. So many people are not bothered about the PF and ESIC, but it is a mandatory, and when they learn from us, it is a mandatory, but it's good for them because the 12.5% cutting from their salary and 13.75% gone from the company's side. When they learn that thing, I am getting a 25% against I am cutting the 12%, then he was happy. And he is coming with that scheme, and he brings so many people for that. कि नहीं भाई आप आ जाओ इसमें अच्छा मिलता है. End of the retirement or when we left from the job, we will get this thing. And now government is very much on a labor side. They started the everything PF, ESSC, everything on online. When you put a money in the PF, you get the alarm or a SMS on your mobile कि your PF is paid and how much balance in your account, and government is paying also 8.5% for that deposit also, and I think it is a good thing.
Fantastic. Yeah, Rohit.
Good evening. You have a fantastic smile on your face. I just want to ask you a question about the customer care department. You know, of late the experience is that the day the customer care department has been introduced, the actual customer care has gone out of the window. Because every time we call the customer care center, you know, we get the typecast answer. If you want to interact with people, they are faceless. Today you are talking to somebody, tomorrow you talk to somebody, even 5 minutes somebody else takes up. So what kind of training you are giving to customer care so that, you know, this situation can be avoided?
Excellent question, Rohit.
Thank you.
About my smile, my wife is also very afraid every time. And the customer care, my department is a very different. It is not for a public, it is for a company. The customer care department is working for my company. We have lots of customers. It's all about 650 plus customers from government and the corporate. So basically the customer care department is working for the corporate because the government customer care is on a different task. And my people, it is not a call center, it is a physical center. They are sending emails to every HR head or admin head. They're getting feedbacks from them. And we have a systems of supervisor system or area officer system. Our area officer reporting to the every site, they are giving a report to my operation department ki what is the problem or what problem is not. So that things report to the operation department report to the customer care, and the customer care department sending a mail to the customers ki you are facing this problem. For solve this problem, we need your support for this ratio. If the problem is not accelerating the above level, then our top management people interfering this. And what I say is ki I got the report of the daily task basis. I got the report from the customer care also. The madam is also getting the customer care report. And we are monitoring that because that is one of the backbone of our business. Because if the customer is not satisfied, then everything is collapsed.
Fantastic. Yes, Geeta. After this, we'll take one last question from Dr. Rajesh Doshi. Yeah, Geeta.
Your energy is amazing, and you're a visionary. You're in the driver's seat. What is the biggest threat you're able to see in your business? Because today a driver's son does not want to become a driver. Education is happening everywhere. You're mostly in the blue collar manpower. So we are all shifting. They're all shifting into white collar. So how are you going to handle the threat?
Now I am so young. So still 25 more years I am working. And my daughter is already joined my business. She is obviously she is in an electronic business, but parallelly she will get a charge of a manpower business also. And my son is also doing his management in HR. He is doing a second year in London. And after 3-4 years after his masters, he come back to the Mumbai. And definitely I know ki that time the businesses also grow like heaven. It's a 1 lakh people business and 1,000 crore of turnover, absolutely. And I think that time, I don't think that he needs a completely involvement in business because system is so settled and everybody on their job. So I think it is good for him also and good for me also after 20 years.
Her question also is, what will happen when people start looking out for office jobs rather than working as security men or giving services in the services sector? Do you see that coming, and how do you tackle that problem which is going to come?
Definitely.
Shortage of people in the future.
Definitely the shortage of people. Today also we are facing a lots of shortage of people. That's why we are diversifying from the manpower security to the electronic security. This is the one reason. And the illiteracy in India is very high. And I think अगर हमें तकलीफ भी होगी तो चलेगा, लेकिन इलिटरेसी जानी चाहिए, लोग एजुकेटेड होने चाहिए और वही देश के लिए अच्छा होगा. But I don't think so कि in India 2050 this problem will be sorted out. Every man, every person needs a job, and our company is one of the source for the people. They are not educated, they don't know anything, but they know how to handle the security thing. After the training of 7, 10, 15 days training in security and 7 days training of housekeeping, they will excellent janitor or excellent security guard, and that also they also grows. My experience is that in airport also and so many 5-star hotel and the malls and the hospital, in facility management, Rajesh, I will take 5 minutes more. In facility management also, it's not completely a cleaning job or jhadu wala job. It is a specialized job. When you working for the 5-star hotel, it is a complete different facility management. Their machines are different. Their chemicals are different. Their approach to the peoples are different. Samely, we are working in the hospital. It is a complete different task. Their machines are different. Their operation theaters machine are different. Their chemicals are different. Then the airport is a complete different task. Malls are a different task. So everybody learns their job from their site. And when they work for the 3, 4, 6 sites, they will be experts in their job. And I think in my company also, the janitor and the guard also going up to the general manager level in other company, because when they work for the Crystal, the other company thinks कि इसके कारण ही company चल रही है, तो they give them promotion और ज़्यादा पैसा, तो वो होते ही रहता है. But it's a business. I don't think so it's a threat also, but it is good कि we are also getting a new people, new talent in our company, and we are working.
Dr. Rajesh.
Good evening, sir. It's a pleasure listening to you. You are handling 25,000 people, and most of the entrepreneurs here will agree with me when I say that means 25,000 complexities. And if you, with permutation combination, you can multiply. So you make it sound so simple. So what is that one thing that you would like to tell us that has gone, the thought process that has gone into simplifying this whole process of managing 25,000 people and going to 1 lakh people going forward?
I can't understand your question.
No. What is the single formula that you have adapted which has made you...
You have simplified the whole process of managing people. So we would like to, if there is in 1 or 2 points, if you would like to summarize, what is the key thing that we can learn from you that we should do with managing people?
Managing people is one of the tasks of a business. What I say is कि we are concentrating on a man management business, and the man management, our man is our product, and he is our Amitabh Bachchan, he is our brand ambassador. So we are completely concentrating on them, and it is I think it is what is your answer for your question. And second is कर्म कर दरिया में डाल, काम करते जाओ, आगे आगे होता है दिखेगा.
Do you spend a lot of time with your key management people, making them understand your vision, and how does it filter down to the ground level?
Definitely, thrice a week or a 4-day a week, I spend at least 2 hours a day with my management team. And the one more best thing, I spend the time with my daughter and my wife at the time of dinner. And at the time of dinner also, because everybody in a business, everybody in the same business, so we discuss a business. I educated them about the problem, and they are sitting 7-8 hours in a office. Then they accelerate the problem, whatever my thoughts are there, what I want from an expectation from my management. She go and take a brief and the guidance or advice or instruction to the people, and they work accordingly that.
Fantastic. Thank you, Prasad. One last question from Navid, and we conclude.
First of all, thank you for your service to the country.
Yeah, thank you, Navid.
As a public servant, it's not easy to leave a thriving business and go and join the public office. My first question to you is, what are the strategies a private sector could use to participate with the MADA? Because MADA is doing clearly good work. How can the private sector come in and help MADA do the thing what they're doing?
Actually, so many the private players as a developer or a contractor working for the MADA, we have a lots of scheme of redevelopment schemes. It's a 33-9, it's a cluster development. 33-5 is a MADA redevelopment. 33-7 is a old Charlies, whichever is in Mumbai. It is a development, is a three different sector of the MADA redevelopment process. And again, MADA is building their own flats and their own lands. And so many private builders, private contractors is working for the MADA, and that I open everything for everybody. That is also a process of an online system and the bidding system.
I told you he's a fantastic orator, but friends, believe me, he's one of the best human beings you will know. He's been a very dear friend, very helpful, very cooperative, and he's a person you will love to meet whenever you can meet him. Thank you, thank you. And the coffee cup can go to the lady. Thank you, thanks a lot.